Hello everyone, it's Mish here, and welcome back to another Daphne's Diary Gluebook journal page. If you're new, thanks so much for stopping by, and if you're a repeater and you've been supporting me, I really appreciate you. Thank you so much. It really brightens my day to read the comments. I read all of the comments. Sometimes it takes me a little bit to respond, as sometimes I check, I can see a comment when I'm working, and I can't really take the time at that moment to, I'm on break or something, to reply. But I do get back to everybody. So this is, if you're new here, this is a Gluebook journal based on the images from Daphne's Diary. If you don't have Daphne's Diary and you do like this style of work, then just pick a magazine that you do have available to you, or maybe a book that you have that you'd like to harvest some images and create a little glue book. All the pages that I'm flipping through now, there are video tutorials for in the playlist on my channel, so be sure to check those out. So we're going to be working in issue number 1 still. I haven't received number 2 yet, but I'm sure it's be here any day. And this is 2024. So I've got a couple more ideas of things that I'd like to do with the images still in this issue. Last time we dealt with these images, which there was double pages there. But today I'd like to do something with her, because I'd like to have her in my diary, and that's kind of what my glue book is about, is images that I want to look back on, or I would just want to save. And there's just something, I don't know, maybe a little melancholy about her, or maybe even wistful. And right now we're having a lot of rain here in Nova Scotia. We had a tide warning yesterday. So Nova Scotia is not an island, but a province of Canada, and it's a peninsula. So we're only connected to the mainland by a spit of land called the Isthmus of Chignecto. So we're pretty much all surrounded by water, which is kind of nice. I am a little bit of a water baby. But yeah, so we had a high tide warning yesterday for excessively high tides. So it's sort of like a rainy time here, and I just thought that I would do something with her. And then I thought that I would also use, I didn't mark it, I would also use this image from Isabel. I follow her on Instagram. It's funny. And then they did a feature on her in the magazine. So I thought I would maybe take, for my background, I would use maybe something from here, because I think that she would stand out kind of on this background. So I'm going to go away, I'll cut her out, and then I'll be back. Okay, so I've gone away, and I've cut some things out. So here's that black and white page that I'm really liking. And if you do watch my channel, you know that I use vellum templates. So I have different sizes of vellums. And this size here, which I actually cut a hole out, but I got another one somewhere, I can't find it, is the exact size of my paper. So what this is good for is when I lay it down, I can then figure out where I want to cut my page. So I did that, and I cut out my girl, and I just put her in different places, and I kind of liked this one here. So I've cut that out just on my on my trimmer. Set that stuff aside. And I've cut her out. So then I was thinking, well, I'll just cut out some flowers. So on this page, which is page 76, there were a bunch of flower, kind of watercolor flowers just along the edging. And so I kind of cut those out. And I played around a little bit with the color because I was kind of thinking like, you know, a little bit of the black and white, but that even on dark days, there is still color in the world. But I didn't really, I mean, I like that. But then I thought, no, what I want to do is I just want to highlight some of these in metallics. I was at the craft store. We have a craft store in Windsor called My Stamping Studio. And I was there the other day. And I saw these, the Nouveau Aqua Shimmers, and I absolutely love them. It's kind of picking up the light. I've been a long-time fan of Wink Estella. So if you don't know what this is, it's like a glitter pen. So when you, this one here is very subtle in that it just kind of makes, and it probably won't pick up too much on camera, but it dries really shimmery on something. But this is kind of like a clear. These ones here are more metallic. So I did some out on a Post-it note earlier. So they dry very shimmery. So I kind of thought I would play with these today. Now, not everybody, of course, is going to have these, the Nouveau Shimmers. So there are other options to kind of give you a bit of the same effect. You can just take glitter pens, which you can get at, you know, Michael's or your local craft store, I'm sure. These ones are just, can't even read what they are. That's a doodle glitter one. Sakura does a lot of, oh, that's a Uniball. So yeah, so you can do this with just glitter pens. The other thing, if you want it to play, again, at Michael's, you can get, this is extra fine glitter. And the other day they had a 2-for-1 sale. So I went in and I bought different shades of copper and gold. This is more like a champagne color, and this is amber. So with this, is all you could do is take some glue. A glue pen would be the best thing. And just go along and put your glue down, and then put your sprinkles down, and then, oops, I got sprinkles on my, and then let it dry, and that would give you a nice glittery effect too. Actually, that would probably be really nice. So that's an option. And then another option would be to take a glue that dries tacky. So this liquid glue by Tombow, when you put it down, it dries so that it's a bit tacky. And what you would do is you'd just, this does have a tip on it, just carefully put your glue down. You could even use a pokey tool or something just to get it so that it's in the right shape. And then once that's dry, you can take some glitter flakes. So here I have the copper, gold, and silver. And you would just sprinkle the glitter flakes down, and then take a hard brush, excuse me for my head. So a brush kind of like this one here. And then you just brush it up, kind of push it in with your finger, and then gently start to rub it off. And you will get a very gold plated effect, which is quite nice. But today, I kind of thought I would just do a little highlighting with my aqua shimmers. So I'm just kind of figuring out where I want her to go. I've got a saying as well that I'm thinking she can be walking on it, because I mean, I could put it over to the side, but I'm kind of liking her being there, I think. Maybe up there. So I'm going to tack her down. Oops, I left my glue open last. Oh, it's still working. And I'm just going to tack her down with a little bit of Elmer's glue. I'm just going to go lightly. This glue is this I think it's called Glue All. It's not this Elmer school glue that has a lot of water and it tends to warp more and it's a bit slimy. It's good for kids though. But this one here is a Glue All, so we'll get her about here maybe with the moon over her shoulder. I can relate to her. When I was a younger girl, I used to go walk in the moonlight, especially on rainy evenings. I'd get my little raincoat on. We had this tent once when I was, well, we used it all through my young life. I think I'll do this one. And yeah, so we would go camping a lot. When we were young, we lived in Chicago. I was born here. And then when I was younger, we moved. And I just need my piece of scrap paper. Yeah, and we used to camp a lot. We used to go camping a lot around Illinois and Wisconsin and other places. And we had this blue tent. We had friends that had a camper. I'm just trying to prime this a little bit more. It's the first time I've opened it. There we go. But they had a camper, but we had a tent, this big blue tent. And when we moved back to Canada, we went camping a few times, and then my parents divorced, and we didn't do much camping, but we still had the tent. And we'd set it up in the backyard, as kids like to do. So I remember I was about 11, and the tent just became destroyed. It had rotted, and just an old canvas tent. So I took the canvas of the tent, and I asked my mother if I could use her sewing machine. And I took this material and I went in to the into the kitchen, and I think that's pretty. And I made kind of like this cape thing. This water, well, it was kind of water resistant because tents aren't really waterproof. And I made this thing with this big hood, and it went down over my arms. Very rudimentary. And I think back now, and I think my neighbors must have thought that I was completely whacked, because I would just walk around in the woods with this blue tent material as a hood and cape. But it just brings back that whenever I see kind of rainy pictures, I kind of think of that. And I felt so peaceful walking around in the woods with my rain coat on, my rain cape. Okay, so I'm kind of liking that effect. I don't know if it's picking it up well on camera, but I think it looks lovely. So this is some gold. Let's see what this looks like. And this is my first time opening up and priming them. So we shall see. I should have primed them a little bit before. So if you're new to this kind of thing, one of the things is you do need to shake them up, because the glitter in it, you want it to mix well. But to prime them or to get them, they come with this is a Wink Estella, but they come with a little ring there. And you would take the ring off, and there's a little plug there that you then screw that on until you hear a little click. And sometimes you don't even hear the click, but it has to be on quite tight. And then you give it a good shake, and then you squeeze the barrel, and then that brings the glitter down to the brush end. Some people kind of get confused on how to actually prime it. So let's get some glitter down here. So I am off today. So Bobby is coming over. Our taxes are due by the 1st of April, I believe. I've already done my taxes, so I'm sure he'll be bringing his tax stuff over. I just use a free app that has a recommendation from Canada Revenue, and I just do it. I use that app, and then there's a facility to leave a donation kind of when you're finished. Oh, that's nice too. I think I'll do this big one. So, and then I'm kind of thinking we might go for a little cruise out to Peggy's Cove. So Peggy's Cove is iconic in Nova Scotia. So if you ever come to Nova Scotia, it's probably one of the to-do things. It's a lighthouse on some really big rocks. The whole landscape looks kind of lunar with just, it's very rocky, and there's not a lot of trees. And in Nova Scotia we have, we're heavily forested. But it's a great place to go out to see the sea, and I find it very peaceful. It's very touristy in the summertime, but in the wintertime, like all things, I think that's pretty. It's not so much so. So I think that I'll pop out there, which leads me into my next thing. I'm gonna have to start writing some notes when I start my videos, because I usually get off and think, oh shoot, I was gonna mention something. But I am a stamp lover, and I think there's a lot of us out there that are stamp lovers too. And I might do a second coat once that dries, because my pen. So I think there's a lot of us that are stamp lovers. And what I'm wondering, if anybody wants to do a postcard swap. So I know I've got, supporters from all over the world. And if I forget somebody in a far off place, I'm really sorry, but I've got Joy, who's in Australia, I believe, and Lynn is in New Zealand. Paul is in South Africa. I have Maya, and I'm not sure how to say your name from Belgium, but I have Maya from the Netherlands. I've got so many people from down the States, and so I was kind of thinking, if anybody wants to do a postcard swap, and then we could use the postcard, if you do any junk journaling, or and then we'd have our stamps as well. So if you're interested in that, my email is in the description box below. So just shoot me off an email, and I'll send you a postcard from Nova Scotia. I'm going to pick up some when I go to Peggy's Cove. But the other thing is too, I may just send some art ones that I've been working on. It's just like a collaged postcard, and then you might be able to use that more in a junk journal. But you can let me know when you email me if you want, sort of an artsy fartsy one, or like a real touristy one. If you do travel journaling or something, it's kind of nice to have postcards from other places. So, okay, so now I'm just going to highlight a few leaves in silver. And again, if you don't have these little shimmer pens, these aqua shimmers, then just use a glitter pen, or, your gold flakes if you have them. If you have the pearl, what are they? Pearl drops? I'm thinking pearl drops, but it's not pearl drops. The pigments, you can put some glue down and use your pigments as well. So this is just a quickie one this week, I think. But I just wanted to get this image, and it doesn't always have to take you lots of time to do a collage page. It, and when you look back at your creations, it's just nice. So I want it kind of like silvery around the moon, like the moon is casting a silver shadow on the leaves around it. So that's why I kind of want like the silvery effect on the leaves. And then, Chester is usually in the craft room. So I don't know where that little guy got to. It's still early here. The time went ahead. So in Nova Scotia and Canada, we have daylight savings time. And got something stuck in that one. So our clocks went ahead on, last weekend. On the 10th. Which is kind of, I just get used to it's light at 6 o'clock. And then the time goes ahead so that it's no longer light at 6 o'clock in the morning at 6 o'clock. But now it's light till way after supper time. So it just kind of distributes the light, the daylight hours differently until we get more into our summertime, in which then our days are quite long. Usually, it's getting light about 5 a.m. And it doesn't get dark sometimes till 10 at night. So we do get a lot of daylight in the summer. I'm not sure if I like daylight savings times though. I think sometimes that we should just leave it and do the natural rhythm of things. Because I think sometimes we mess with our systems and just turning the clocks back may not seem a big deal, but I think that sometimes it just disrupts things. I don't know, the birds and nature. So I think that is looking really cute. It's really hard to pick that up in the camera compared to what I'm seeing. I really love that copper. And the gold up in the corner. I think I'll do a little silver down this end too. So, although I kind of like it concentrated where the moon is going to be, but the moon's also kind of shining in behind her. So, maybe I'll do this leaf down here at the bottom. And get that shining. It's going to rain again today. I think I said that already. I'm off today and tomorrow, and I am just loving my time off. I have so much to do in the crafty world. I've started a new junk journal, which I'll do a flip through probably this week. It's a collaboration with Rach and Bella over on their channel. They're doing a collaboration with Angela Kerr over one of their DigiKits. So I've kind of been doing stuff with that. I absolutely love the DigiKit that they've got out right now. I really wasn't into DigiKits much, but I'm starting to really love them. Bobby got me a new printer for Christmas, and it was the Epson. Oh, that was gold. That's why I'm not liking that so much. I want to put copper highlights through that. There, I like that better. It just looks a little, there's gold fringe on the edge. Okay, so do I want to do, I don't see really any more flowers. I think it's all leaves, which is fine. There's a flower down here. This copper is beautiful. I love copper. One of my good friends has a dog, a husky named Copper. I looked after him once when he was a little puppy, and my gosh, was he energetic. Okay, so the saying that I was kind of looking at, these are little sticky quotes from Art by Marlene, is, I don't see it here. Oh yeah, when you encounter joy again, I hope you let it in, because she just seemed to me like she was, I don't know, a little bit sad maybe, a little bit, wistful, and maybe she's just walking and thinking. The only thing about that is that it may not, I think it'll all fit, but I just want to wait till that dries. So I'm just going to go away, I'm going to let that dry, and then I'll be right back. Okay, so I've dried her off, and I've put it in the, onto a page. And one of the things I noticed is the Aqua Writer, which I knew would do because it's water, has kind of warped the page a bit, and it's kind of hard to pick that up there a little bit. So it's given that some texture. It's making that kind of rise above the page. And I really do like that, because it not only does it give it some shimmer, but it gives it a bit of dimension. But while I was doing that, one thing I was thinking of is, if you don't like the metallic look, you can take some colored pencils and just lightly shade those in, or you could take just some alcohol markers and color it in. You know, you didn't have to stick to metallics. Other colored glitter pens, yeah, you could do anything you like kind of to the background. So I'm just going to figure out where this is going to go. So there's two parts to it. So I'm going to do, I hope you let it in. So I'm going to do this one kind of here. And then I'm going to cut this right here. Hopefully I won't cut off any of the words. And I'll put that there. And then in the middle, I think I'll put that. So when you encounter joy again, I hope you let it in. And it's just a reminder when we're kind of down. So I'm happy with that for today. So let's stick it back in our diary. I put it here as the first signature. Get it tucked in there. So, as I always kind of do at the very end, I just do a little dum-de-dum. That's why I'm just in the evening flipping through and having a look. And there she is. So I'm very happy with that. I hope you guys enjoyed that. And yeah, so if you're interested in the postcard swap, as I said, my email's in the description box below. I'll also leave, if I can find these, I'll leave a link to the shimmer pens in the description. If you like this, I'd love for you to give me a like and leave a comment. They just make me so happy. I'd love for you to subscribe as well. I currently don't get any money from the channel. I don't really know how that works, but I think a magic number is 1,000 subscribers. And I'm nearly there. So thank you so much. I do notice something though, and I've mentioned it before, that once I get like 10 or 15 new subscribers, it seems like Amazon and maybe people are leaving, and that's legitimate, but it's like then it decreases by 2. And then I think, well, that's kind of weird because that's consistent. And then somebody else who has a channel had mentioned that sometimes YouTube is just unsubscribing people at random. So if you think you are subscribed, then I'd love for you to have a look just to make sure. But until next week, which would be, or my next video, which will be the Marguerite Miller on my collage, the weekly one will be on Sunday. But until we meet again, I hope you stay safe and healthy, and bye for now.